yesterday I was on a live stream panel with the 1LVZ, Lisa Cabrera, True Royal Family, Santee Walden, and a couple of others. And the 1LVZ had brought something to our attention involving everybody's loathable spud, Jason Whitlock, the Black Grimace. And I use the term black loosely when it comes to him. But he brought up where Jason Whitlock had made these comments about Megan Rapinoe. Now, if you don't know who she is, she's one of the most well-known soccer players who plays for the U.S. soccer team. And by the way, I believe they just won the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. She's a white woman, and she is a lesbian. And I think her partner is Sue Bird, who plays in the WNBA, and she's probably one of the most notable figures in the WNBA today. But anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up, and you see this picture right here, is because Jason Fatlock went on to his platform at FS1, and he said that Megan Rapinoe's anthem protests are more authentic than Colin Kaepernick's. This man literally just sat up there and propped up a white woman who would not give him the time of day, mainly because she's not attracted to men. And then even if she was, Jason Whitlock probably wouldn't even be one that she even locks eyes with, except to say, excuse me. But that's what he said. Now let me go ahead and read this article. Fox Sports 1 host Jason Whitlock believes the anthem protests of women's soccer star Megan Rapinoe are more authentic than those of anthem kneeling former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick. He says, "I'd like to give U.S. soccer star and national anthem protester and high-profile Trump troll Megan Rapinoe some advice. You go, girl." That's what he said. Keep doing you. It's authentic, and I believe it's empowering you to become the most dominating and fascinating and influential American women's athlete since tennis star Serena Williams was in her prime. Rapinoe, currently participating in the Women's World Cup, has refused to sing the anthem or put her hand over her heart while it is played due to her dislike of United States President Donald J. Trump. Okay, so they are still playing in the World Cup. Whitlock was a harsh critic of Kaepernick when he kneeled during the national anthem in the 2016 season as a member of the San Francisco 49ers. Kaepernick said, "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color." So what gives? Why was Whitlock a critic of Kaepernick for protesting during the anthem, but not for Rapinoe? Then he says, "I'm sure some of you are shocked. How can the same guy who bashed Colin Kaepernick for kneeling during the national anthem support Rapinoe? It's actually quite easy," Fatlock surmised. "The difference between Cap and rap," that's how he said it, "is believability and authenticity. Cap converted to revolutionary when his career flamed out. Took a seat during the national anthem in the aftermath of the 49ers telling him to take a seat behind the quarterback Blaine Gabbert. Before being benched, Cap didn't know the difference between activist Angela Davis and actress Angela Lansbury." I'm telling you, I just had to ask this. Jason Whitlock, do you have repressed feelings, and I do mean feelings, for Colin Kaepernick? Because anybody who can obsess over a guy like that for 3 years, even if you try to mask it as trolling, has to have some very suppressed feelings for somebody. This has gone beyond hatred. This has gone beyond jealousy. Now it sounds real stalker-like. It really does. I really wish that Colin Kaepernick could come off of his morality high horse and put this man in his place. I know this is what Jason Whitlock wants. It probably makes him salivate at night just thinking about it. But I'm sick of Jason Whitlock for him. I'm not even done reading the article yet. Hold on, let me see what else he had to say. Whitlock feels, of course he feels, career failure and a steady diet of activist Sean King's tweet transformed Cap. Whitlock believes Rapinoe's protests are more organic than Kaepernick's. Hold on. If it wasn't for Colin Kaepernick doing what he did, Megan Rapinoe most likely would not have done what she's doing right now. So my question to him is this. To Grimace, the Black Grimace. And like I said, I use the term black loosely when it comes to this thing. If Colin Kaepernick started this first and Megan Rapinoe started to do it and a lot of other people started to do it as well, how is hers more organic than his? Sorry about that, y'all. But y'all, between the phone ringing and me getting really revved up and moving my hands, and I snatched the damn cord out of my mic. But yeah, I'm back. But yeah, how is hers more authentic and organic than his when she got inspiration to do what she's doing right now from him because she didn't do it first? I mean, I commend the fact that she's still going on with it, but then he kept saying that he was near the end of his career. The guy at the time was what? Hold on. In his late, because I know Colin is a year older than me. He was in his late 20s. He was still in his prime. He wasn't about to leave he wasn't prepared to leave the league. They keep trying to make it seem like he was like on his way out, like he literally was on his last leg, and he wasn't. And they always kept trying to say he's this weak quarterback. I said, I don't know many weak quarterbacks that can lead their team to a Super Bowl. Granted, they didn't win, but still getting there is no easy feat. But they love to use that to try to discredit what this man did. Let's see. It says Rapinoe wasn't transformed. She was inspired by Kaepernick, Whitlock said. Even he said it. There's a world of difference between inspiration and transformation. One is organic, the other is socially engineered. Let me read that again. Rapinoe wasn't transformed. He's trying to say that that Colin Kaepernick was transformed into this person that he is now. And then he said she was inspired, which I just said, inspiration. He said there's a world of difference between inspiration and transformation. One is organic, the other is socially engineered. And who's to say that Colin Kaepernick wasn't inspired from other people like Muhammad Ali or a few other athletes who have protested over the years? They're few and far in between, but they are present. But it's the fact that he propped up this white woman over this black man when she drew inspiration from him. Whitlock thinks that Rapinoe has more credibility in her protest since she's a dominating player, while Kaepernick was a declining player during his protesting. Rapinoe is at the top of her sport. Whitlock says she's in a discussion for the best player in the world right now. She's beloved by her teammates. She was smart enough and pragmatic enough to figure out she can make her political point without disrespecting the national anthem. When U.S. Soccer dictated she stand for the anthem, she didn't nail herself on a Twitter cross. She stood and silently protested by refusing to sing and place her hand over her heart. Most importantly, she elevated her play to the next level. It's impossible to ignore her complaints because she's the best player in the World Cup. Now, this guy literally just went on a whole soliloquy, just completely propping her up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that she's a bad soccer player. She definitely is a franchise player. She's practically the face of that team. But he literally did all of that while continuing to put his fat ass foot on Colin Kaepernick's neck. All because he just can't bring himself to say he doesn't like the guy. But like I said, anybody who can go at someone like that for 3 years, control somebody like that for 3 years. The fact that he even brought this up lets you know that Colin Kaepernick stays on his brain. That's his only major talking point over at Fox Sports 1. Because no one listens to him. Otherwise, we barely listen to him when he says stuff like this, but it's inflammatory comments. I wish, like I said, Colin Kaepernick has the patience of a monk, because had it been me and he's been talking like trash about me for 3 years, listen, y'all think that the malice at the palace a few years ago was something would have happened, because I would have probably rolled up on Jason Whitlock at that Fox Sports 1 station. It would have been cancel season that day. So Whitlock feels that every time Rapinoe succeeds on the field, it brings attention to her cause. Every time she scores, we are subconsciously reminded that she opposes our president and believes he's unfit to serve. Are y'all hearing what he's saying right now? Rapinoe said if the United States wins the Women's World Cup, she would not visit the White House. I am not going to fake it, hobnob with the president who is clearly against so many things that I am for and so many of the things that I actually am. Rapinoe told the Sports Illustrated, I have no interest in extending our platform to him. If they win the World Cup, Rapinoe announced she will visit the Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in Washington instead of Trump. It's unclear which of the president's policies Rapinoe is against. Rapinoe chose to be a force of change, Whitlock said. It doesn't matter if I agree or disagree with her complaints. What matters is I can't reject them as a phony whine intended to distract from professionalism failure. Rap is no cap. That is why her success and protests don't bother me. You stupid bastard! It's the same goddamn protest. I cannot fucking... Man, I almost threw something. I did. I almost grabbed something just right now. Sure, granted, she's not protesting maybe for the same exact things that Colin Kaepernick was, but she drew inspiration from it. I can't stand people like fucking this piece of shit. Y'all better be glad I can't say on here what I really want to say about this bastard. It's one thing when you have other people who don't look like you who say shit like this. But when you have those who look like you, even though they are not you, that's exactly why I compare people like Jason Whitlock to the tethered. They look like us, but they for damn sure ain't us. He can't stand Colin Kaepernick, but he can't keep his goddamn name out of his fucking fat ass mouth for 5 goddamn minutes. Because he knows it brings him ratings. It brings him attention. Because that's the only kind of attention he'll ever get. I don't think any woman in her right mind would ever want him. Hell, I don't even think a fucking dog would even want to hump his goddamn leg. That's how toxic his bitch ass is. You know what's so funny? It is interesting when you have people like Charlemagne the God who has to check Jason Whitlock and tell him, don't open your mouth again until you lose 100 pounds and lose that fedora. And you know, ever since then, I don't know if he lost the 100 pounds, but he damn sure lost that fedora because Charlemagne actually got to him. Like I said, Colin Kaepernick has the patience of a monk to have to constantly deal with the verbal abuse, especially coming from this guy, because he's been going at him for 3 goddamn years. I don't know any other white person or palm-colored person who has a disdain like that towards us, who could go after us just in particular if they had to go after a person individually for 3 years. But this guy does. And ironically, it's after the whole Nike shoe situation with him. This guy has some serious fucking issues. He does. Like I said, the fact that he propped up a white woman, let's put her sexuality to the side. He propped up a white woman for doing something that she drew inspiration from somebody else, and said that her protest was better and that it was authentic and that it was organic and that it was different. And then he had the nerve to try to tear down this man because he got shunned and pushed out, and try to say that he was on his last leg of his career. Every time I do, this is why I try to not do many videos involving Jason Whitlock, because every time I do one about him, I always end up going the fuck off on his ass. Jason Whitlock has literally prided himself on being a very, very unlikable person. And I don't know if he knows that or not, but he is. He has no redeemable qualities about himself whatsoever. And the day that he gets his wake up call, and it needs to come pretty goddamn fast, I might throw a goddamn parade in its honor. Notice I said its and not his, because I can't even see it as a human being. That's how low I think of his fat ass. To me, he is lower than a fucking insect. I don't think I can do another commentary about Jason Whitlock again on my channel until I have to cue up the motherfucking violins on his ass. And it will be well deserved. Long overdue. I think I dislike him almost as more as Stephen A. Smith. And that's saying a lot because he says some dumb shit too. But he doesn't harp on it like he does. This is his only talking point. The only one. I just hope to God that one day that Colin Kaepernick can come out of that patient shell that he's in and check his fat lard ass. Because he deserves it. It's gone too far now. Like, it really has. And the thing is, he actually believes what the fuck he's saying. He does. This is exactly why before the Haitian Revolution actually went down, when Haiti defeated the French, they had to get rid of the coons first. With his fat ass, it probably wouldn't take much because, well, look at him. What could he offer if a war was to break out today? What could he offer? He couldn't offer a damn thing. We maybe could attach his ass to a crane and use him as a wrecking ball, but that's about it. But Jason Whitlock has no substance. He brings nothing to a conversation except these tired ass talking points. Quiet as it's kept, people are tired of him constantly trolling Colin Kaepernick. It's over. It's old. You got it all out of your system back in 2016 when it happened. It's done. He's not in the NFL anymore. Stop talking about it. But he'll bring it up again. When he finds the opportunity to do so, he'll bring it up again. Because that's the only talking point that he has. He's not a multifaceted person whatsoever. I'm going to leave the video off on that note. I didn't even expect to blow up the way that I did, but this guy right here, this thing that you see on your screen that looks like an overinflated whale defines a piece of shit.